dear students, welcome to the video. We have been talking about William Wordsworth's famous poem, The World is Too Much With Us, and in my previous video, I gave you a small introduction to the poem, and this video is going to be about the line-by-line analysis or the paraphrase of the poem. So, I told you in my previous video that this poem was published in a collection of poems called Poems in Two Volumes, which was published in the year 1807. Now the poem was written around 1802, but it was published in 1807, and this poem is a sonnet and a Petrarchan sonnet at that. I will talk about the structure of the poem later on in my next video, but first let's understand what the poem is about, what the writer says, what the writer has to say about this world that he says that is too much with us. So the first four lines of the poems, they go like this: the world is too much with us. Now this world that he's talking about, it could mean two things. It could mean the world, the natural world that is around us, and he might be meaning to say that this natural world, this nature that we have around us is fed up of human beings. Or the other world could be the world in which we live in. So it could be the cities around us, all the technology that is there around us. So it could mean that world also. So in that sense, the world is too much with us could mean that this world has become overwhelming for us. Maybe it has become overwhelming. Human beings, they are they are not able to handle this world. This is what he could mean to say. Both ways it is correct. And he says late and soon. Now late and soon, it could have different meanings, and it could mean late and soon could mean he could be talking about the past, the present and the future, and how humanity and this world has evolved, it has developed over a period of time. Or it could also mean, late and soon could mean that later or sooner we are going to consume this nature, and this is what should not happen. And he says getting and spending. Now this getting and spending, it has it has that economic meaning to it, and he says that we are too busy earning money and spending it. We are earning money, what for? To spend, and then we earn again just to spend it. So materialism is one of the biggest concerns that the writer has here, and the writer's tone is angry, and he is not happy with the fact that the world is too much with us, and he is complaining. His tone is complaining tone, and he says that getting and spending, we waste our powers. So we are wasting our powers. Now what is this power that we are wasting? So this power is our ability to appreciate the bounty of nature around us. It is our ability to find pleasure in the nature, in the natural world around us. But we are wasting that power. This power could also mean spirituality. This power could also mean all those good things in life that we are leaving behind in our pursuit of wealth, in our pursuit of materialism. And then he says, little we see in nature that is ours. So earlier we would find nature to be our own. We would feel that nature was a part of our lives. But now we have stopped doing that. So there is very little in nature that we feel connected to. We have moved away from nature. We have stopped appreciating the beauty and the bounty of nature, and this is what pains him the most. And why have we stopped doing that? Because we are very busy in earning money and spending it. We are busy in gaining all the material physical comforts for ourselves, and we have given our hearts away a sordid boon. Now this he says he says that this is almost like a bargain, and a bargain gone wrong. So what's wrong with this bargain? That in our hurry to gain money, we have given our hearts away. We have sold our souls and our hearts and our ability to enjoy nature for material pursuits, in exchange for material pursuits. So we are exchanging, we could say, the poet might mean to say that we are into this barter, and in this barter we are giving our hearts away to get in return all the material and physical comforts that money can buy. So money has become more important than our connect with nature, than our ability to enjoy nature and to find peace and solace in nature, our ability to feel one with nature. And this bargain, it is a sordid boon. We feel it is a boon, sordid boon. There is this phrase is the writer uses oxymoron here, and he says that it is a sordid boon because it seems like a boon, it seems like a good thing in life. A boon is, something good that you get. So it seems like a boon, but it is a boon which is sordid. It is a boon which is vile, it is mean, it is base, it is not worthwhile. Now, the next 4 lines of the poem, he says that this sea that bears her bosom to the moon, the winds that will be howling at all hours, and are upgathered now like sleeping flowers, for everything we are out of tune. Now first let's understand this term, we are out of tune. We are out of tune, it would mean that we are out of harmony. Now we are out of harmony with what? With the beauties of nature. So he is he is describing the beautiful things in nature that we have stopped paying attention to. So he gives us 2 examples, and he says this sea that bears her bosom to the moon. So there is this vast sea that is there, and the sea is bearing her bosom to the moon. That means that the moon is shining in the sky, and we all know that the light of moon affects the movement of water, the movement of waves in the sea. So the sea is there, and the moonlight is there, and the winds that will be howling at all hours, and the winds which are so roaring and which are so powerful most of the time, but at the time of night these winds, now he uses a simile here, and he says they are upgathered now like sleeping flowers. These winds, they have cooled down at the time of night. So the winds that are usually howling and roaring and powerful during daytime or during most of the time, they are right now at this hour of the night, they are upgathered. That is, they are they are silent, they are motionless, the winds, and they are still, and they are gathered up like sleeping flowers. It seems as if they are having some rest like sleeping flowers. So the writer here compares the winds to sleeping flowers, and he says for this, see, this is such a beautiful scene in nature. Calm, tranquil sea, moonlight shining brightly, and winds which are very animating, slow, pleasing. So we don't have time to enjoy these beauties. So he says for this kind of a scene, and for everything else that nature has to offer, we are out of tune. We are completely out of harmony with all these beauties of nature. So these 8 lines, since as I told you that this is a Petrarchan sonnet, so these 8 lines, they form the octave part of the sonnet, and we all know that in the octave part the writer states a problem. So here the writer is angry, and he is discussing this problem that the modern man, because of the influence of the first industrial revolution, the modern man has lost touch with nature, and he has become more materialistic. He has become he craves more for physical comforts, and he craves less for natural beauty and spiritual comfort in nature. Now the Cested part of the poem begins, and Generally, the writer provides a solution to whatever problems he has discussed in the octave part. So let's see what Wordsworth has to offer. And he says, it moves us not. The beauties of nature. Such a beautiful scene, the sea and the sky and the moon and winds. It moves us not. These beautiful scenes in nature, they don't move us. Great God! And he is so angry that out of frustration, he says, oh God, I would rather be a pagan suckled in a creed out womb. He says that I would not like to be a modern man. I wish that I were a pagan rather than being a man who is more interested in materialism, who is more interested in money and physical comforts. I would like to go back in time where I could be pagan. Now, what do we mean by pagan? See, pagan is someone who believes in an antiquated, obsolete kind of religion. And what was this religion? This used to be the ancient Greek religion, and the people who were pagans, who believed in paganism, they worshipped the various aspects of nature because they were in awe of nature. They respected nature. So they would worship winds, they would worship seas, they would worship rivers and trees and all the other natural aspects and other natural phenomena. So he says that, oh God, I mean, he's so frustrated. The writer here, he says, I would rather be a pagan. I would like to be a pagan. I would like to be a nature worshipper, suckled in a creed outworn, that is, who is brought up, who is, who spends his life in a creed, in a religion which is outworn, a religion which is no more in practice than being a materialistic, money craving man. And he says, so might I. Why would I like to become a pagan? So that I could enjoy the beauties of life. So might I, standing on this pleasant lea. So now we get to see the location, the setting of the poem. So here, I mean, up till now, we did not know where this speaker, or the narrator, or the poet, he's standing or sitting, or I mean the location, the space that he is using. But this line, it makes it clear that the speaker is standing on this pleasant lea. Lea is a grassland, meadow. So he says that I would rather be a pagan so that I could enjoy the beauties of nature, standing on this pleasant lea, have glimpses that would make me less forlorn. Being a pagan, I would be standing in this pleasant grassland and I would have glimpses of nature. I mean, I would have glimpses of the beauties of nature that are there around me that would make me less forlorn. This material world, this money craving world, this world where people are running and they do not know what they are running for. People are busy all the time and they do not know what they are busy for. So rather than being a denizen of that kind of a world, I would rather be a pagan who would be standing on this pleasant lea and who would have glimpses of the beauties of nature that would make me less forlorn. I would feel less forlorn. I would feel less dejected. I would feel less despaired. I feel dejected. I feel despaired. I feel hopeless when I see people running after money and material comforts and not paying attention to the beauties of nature. So I would rather be a pagan and enjoy the beauties of nature and feel less forlorn. And then he talks about two sea gods from Greek mythology, and he says, have sight of Proteus rising from the sea, or hear old Triton blow his wreathed horn. Now Proteus was a sea god in Greek mythology, and he could predict future, Proteus, but he did not like to do that. So whenever somebody would insist and somebody would get hold of him and would insist that you please tell us our future, he would not like to do that. So he would change his shape and he would escape. So Proteus is a sea god who can change many shapes. And Triton again is a sea god and he has a wreathed horn. He has a not exactly a conch shell, but he has a horn, and it is wreathed. That is, it is circular in shape. And Triton, when he blows this horn, then he controls the movement of the waves with the sound of this horn. So Wordsworth says that I would rather become a pagan, I would rather become a believer in an ancient religion that believes in nature and have sight of Proteus. I would like to see Proteus rising up from the sea, and I would like to listen to the wreathed horn of Triton rather than be a citizen of a world where people are mad after material pursuits. People are mad after physical comforts, after money, and they have lost connect with nature, lost connect with God and spirituality. So I would rather be Proteus. I would rather be a pagan who could see Proteus, who could listen to the horn of the Triton. Now the reference of Proteus is again significant here, because Proteus is a god who can take many shapes. So the writer might be willing to indicate that nature around us, it has 1,000 shades, it has 1,000 different forms, 1,000 different beauties to show to us. We just need to hold on to it. We just need to pay attention to it. We have stopped doing that. Nature is there in its own place. It has not gone somewhere, but somehow our attention has diverted, and we have stopped enjoying the beauties of nature. So the writer provides this solution. This does not seem to be a solution which could be fit for all, but this is a solution which he feels that it is fit for him, that he would start believing in a religion which worshipped nature as such. So this is all for this video, and I hope I'll be discussing the structure and the tone and other critical aspects of the poem in my next video. Till then, bye.